Hello and welcome to the Lady Flint Show. Today, I pray you all are well and blessed and highly favored. Guess who I have today? I have the Queen of Queens. This queen here has 4 jobs. 4. When do you sleep?
I don't know. Like they say, the early bird catches the worm.
Yeah, and if you come late, you don't get no plate. Y'all know I just made it up. I don't know nothing about that, but I don't come late. But anyway, I just want to get started today. I want to thank Diaspora TV. I would like to thank Mr. Allen especially for believing in this dream here. And, you know, God is good and all the time he's good. And I would like to thank Mr. Donald and all the people who were working behind the scenes, in front of the camera, and all the talk show hosts. God bless you all and much success on your shows. So with that being said, guess I have this queen here today, Miss Patricia Credit Jones. I love this girl. We go a long way back. Yes. So let's get started. What do you want to pick first? Me personally, I want to talk about the cakes, baby.
Okay, we can talk about that.
Okay.
We can talk about that.
Let's talk about the cakes. How long have you been doing the cakes, and what got you started doing the cakes?
Well, what got me started is, my mom passed. I went through her stuff and I found her recipes.
I'm so sorry. Yes.
So I started with that. So I'm not for sure how long I've been really doing it. I think about 7 years or so, because I was doing it off and on. I started with the sweet potato pies and then pound cakes. Mm-hmm. So I used to bake those and take them to my friend's house when holidays and stuff like that. So they were the cooks, I was the baker. So I started that way, and then when COVID hit, I just started venturing into different flavors and different cakes and stuff. So now I just do like a little variety of different cakes. So I have with the red velvet, southern butter pecan cake, lemon cake, coconut cake, banana pudding. I just started with the banana pudding cake. That's a new one.
Oh, wow.
So,
okay.
Yeah, that's a new one. And a peach cobbler pound cake. Yeah.
Okay, now with the red velvet cake, I didn't mean to cut you off, but the red velvet cake, you make it from the frosting from scratch. Is all of them from scratch?
All of them from scratch. Everything is from scratch. I don't use anything boxed. The only thing boxed I use is the ingredients, but everything is from scratch. I don't use boxed cakes at all. And I don't use Great Value or anything like that. I use the quality, top of the line ingredients.
Okay,
yes.
Okay.
To me, that gives the cake a better taste. That's just my personal opinion.
Right.
But that's how I know how to make my cakes taste good.
Right.
So, and I was very keen on taste versus to decorating. So I'm very keen on that. I want to make sure that my cakes taste good versus to them looking good. So now they're looking good, but they also taste good.
Yeah, I think that's the most important thing too, is the taste. Because something could look good, just like everything look good to you, not good for you. You feel me?
Yes, Lord.
So grass ain't always green on the other side, but
right.
But what I like about it is that you took it up, and I think that it makes you feel closer to your mom.
Correct.
Correct. I mean, that's how I feel like when I do my collard greens. I feel like I could feel her, and she say, "Yeah, that's a good job, baby." It's crazy, but it's like I hear her in my head and saying, "This is how you do it," and the taste and everything like that. Mm-hmm. So I kind of get where you're coming from with that. Mm-hmm. So what is your most requested cake?
Right now it's the peach cobbler pound cake.
Peach cobbler pound cake. Y'all hear that? Now, the crust. Do you have a crust on the bottom, the top? How do you put an icing on that type of cake?
Yes. It's 2 desserts in one.
Yes,
so
it is.
It's 2 desserts in one. So the bottom is, when you put it in the pan, it's the bottom, but when you flip it over, it's the top. The top would be the peach cobbler with the regular peach cobbler crust and the peaches and everything, and the syrup and everything.
And that would be on the bottom, correct?
Yeah, when you put it in the pan, it's on the bottom.
Okay.
So, and then you put the pound cake on top. And then when you flip it over, once it's done, you flip it over, it's on top. It's really pretty. And it tastes delicious.
I bet it does,
Yeah.
girl. Yum,
Yes. Yes.
yum, yum, yum,
Yes.
yum.
Yes.
So, and how long does that take for you to make everything? Do you make the ingredients separate? Do you do it all in one? How long does that take?
The cake itself is kind of time consuming because you're doing two desserts in one. So therefore, you have to do the peach cobbler part first, and then you do the pound cake second.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's
so
amazing.
it's time consuming. It is.
Wow. So I would think that would cost more than any other cakes that you have.
Oh yeah. It's I do charge for it.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah,
I mean, because
do.
you're taking your time from your family,
Mm-hmm.
and like you said, it's time consuming, right?
consuming.
Just by itself,
Right.
And then the ingredients, you have to pay for the ingredients. Inflation, guys, inflation,
Yes.
and then it's a business.
Exactly.
So, and I feel like your price is your price. That's just me.
Yeah, that's
Because
true.
you might want to try to give people a break, but you got to look at the time. You got to go get the ingredients, how much the ingredients cost.
Exactly.
And then you got to stand on your feet and do all that. You can't be sitting down. You got to be constantly moving around.
Exactly.
So, I mean, hey, it is what it is. So you didn't do any, you said, for Thanksgiving or Christmas because
I have construction going on at my house. So
what about New Year's? Will it be done by New Year's, or you don't
I don't
think
know.
so?
It won't be done until the first of the year. After the first of the year,
Okay.
It'll be done. So I'm real particular. I don't want to bake anything, and I have dust going on because I bake with gloves on. I bake with a mask on. So I'm really, really particular about stuff like that. So I guess I'm just paranoid. I don't want anything to land in my cakes.
Right.
And then somebody get it and they be like, oh, it's something in the cake. I'm real.
Or they get sick, like you say, from the dust or something. Yeah.
So I just rather wait until everything is done, and then I can kick off next year.
Right. And
for the holidays.
You guys, you see what she just said? Mm-hmm. She has on gloves and a mask.
Yes.
Because I don't eat everybody.
Mm-hmm. But I have on a full mask. I have on the one that come all the way down.
So is that like a plastic? The plaster?
Plastic. Yeah, the plastic.
Oh, that's even better.
Yes, because the reason why I do that too, because when COVID started, you watching TikTok and different videos and stuff like that, and you watching people comments and stuff. I'm watching people baking. They like, you standing over the cake, you spitting in the cake, you talking, and little stuff fly to your mouth, which is true.
Of course,
you talk and stuff fly to your mouth or whatever, not meaning to, but. Things happen. So I don't want that. So I have on a mask when I'm baking.
And I really love that because that's being sanitary.
Yes.
I really baby. By me used to work in the health field, I believe in that. Gloves, mask, all of that. Gown, and that's very important because it not only protects the person or the patient or the customer, it also protects you.
Correct.
So I dig that. I dig that. So you said you're going to start back at the first of the year.
Right, after the first of the year, I'll start back. I'll kick it off again. So I started advertising again for my cakes and everything.
Right.
But right now, I have to, sit this one out.
Right.
Yeah.
So y'all hear this after the first of the year. First of the year, baby, it's back on and popping. So, and that's right around the corner, 2-3 weeks from now.
Yeah.
So hopefully she'll have everything up, running back in her kitchen. That's what I'm talking about. So that's the first business. And you said, I did ask you how long you've been doing that.
Correct.
Okay, correct. So the second one, I'm going to let you pick it. Tell me.
Well, let me see. Well, we can go into probate and deeds.
Okay, we could do that. And then we'll save the other one. Is this part of the real estate part that you do?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
Let's talk about that.
Yes.
Okay, so how long have you been doing that? And what got you started with that business from transitioning from cakes to probates and taxes and all of that? How did you get started with the real estate and all of that? What got you started with that?
To be honest, being back, I started, I want to say about 20 years ago. Maybe even 20-something years ago. Just being nosy on the computer. Just, being honest, being nosy on the computer. Just searching up stuff, looking at houses, just doing it, just looking. And it just struck an interest in me. Just to look, just to want to find out about houses and just how how all the puzzles fit together. It's like I'm thinking to myself, how are these people getting all these properties, and what do they need to do to get them, stuff in. A lot of people don't realize that, a lot of stuff have to be cleared on these properties in order for you to own them. So, you might see a property and you say, oh, I can get that property and fix it up. But, you might not know if they have municipal liens on them or any kind of liens on the property or whatever. So you have to know what you're looking for to make sure that those are cleared. So I just got started that way. So I just kind of dibble and dabble myself, and then I started working for timeshare and title. So I was doing timeshare. I'm title for timeshare. So that's a totally different beast from residential and commercial property. It's a totally different beast. So it's nothing, the requirements that you need for timeshare, you won't need for, well, you'll need some of them, but you will need more information for residential and commercial property versus to timeshare. Okay, and I wouldn't suggest no one to get a timeshare, to be honest with you.
Okay, we're going to talk about that.
Yes.
But I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I wanted to go back before I lost my train of thought. You said municipal?
Yes.
What does that consist of, and what is it? I'm curious.
Municipal liens are city liens. Code enforcement liens. Those are municipal liens. And they do not go away. You cannot sell a property and say, oh, they stay with the previous owner. They don't. They still own the property. They have to be cleared before you can sell those properties. And most municipal liens, they carry interest per month or per year or what have you. It's interest that's clicked onto them. So while you think you might owe $125, by the end of the day you might owe $1,000 and some dollars. It just depends on
at the end of the day.
Not end of the day, but I mean like years go by, you might think I just only owe $125. They charged me like years ago, so that's all I owe. But as those years grow, the interest grow. So you have to have all that stuff clear. That's water bill, code enforcement, any code enforcement liens, all of those. Those have to be cleared. They have to be paid before you can sell the property.
Wow, that's something.
Yeah, because a lot of people think, oh, just get a code enforcement. It is what it is, and they don't bug you where they say, oh, you got to pay. They just keep taxing you. And
the person that has no idea.
They know because they get letters. The city sends them letters and let them know, hey, you owe this. It's every so often or whatever, however they have it typed up, you're going to be charged 1 point or 12 points, whatever percent on top of this bill if you don't pay each month or whatever, however they word it. So it's up to, I'm not for sure how they select, how they, get the interest or what have you, but, they do have interest on it, but they have to pay.
Wow.
So you have to have those cleared. If you don't, you're going to have them cleared before you sell a property. So, and a lot of buyers don't want properties with code enforcement liens on it, municipal liens. They don't want it.
And I don't blame them.
I don't blame
How
them.
do they get rid of that? They just pay everything up, and then that's how they, once they paid everything up, and then everything is okay, and then that's the best time to sell it, correct?
Right. They also have to come into compliance. So if they have a code enforcement lien say it's for, you put a fence up and you didn't get a permit for it.
Oh my goodness.
So that have to be brought into compliance. So if they telling you that you have this fence up and you didn't get a permit for it and it's not up correctly and you need to take it down, that have to be taken down. So you have to pay that lien, plus you have to bring it into compliance. And if you don't, it's going to stay on the property. It stays with the owner. So that owner has to have that cleared up before they sell it. Now, if it's a cash buyer and the cash buyer just don't know or just don't care and they're willing to clear it up, then that's on them. So, that can happen too. If they just want the property and they just want to buy it cash, they have to make sure all those liens are cleared as well.
Wow. That's amazing. Y'all hear this? She's spitting out some good stuff. So let's get back to what we were talking about with the different real estate and everything, commercial and all of that kind of stuff. What's the difference between municipal and the commercial? Which one is harder to sell? I would think that municipal would be harder to sell, but
residential. Municipal is based off of the liens on the property.
Okay.
But so it's residential and commercial property. Commercial is easier to sell
Really?
Yeah, commercial
Wow.
is easy to sell because everybody want it because you're gonna see a profit in that. It might be a month later and the property might go up. Residential, it's up and down. Even
Right.
when commercial is up and down, but I think you'll have a better profit off a commercial property than residential.
I would think so. Yeah.
Yeah, because you can buy a piece of land that's in a commercial area and make money off of that. You can buy it for $100,000, and the next 6 months you can make another $100,000. So you can sell it for $200,000. So you can double your money. So
I'm learning some stuff here.
yeah, so it's it's just where you buy it too, and then also too, it's a lot of properties out there, dilapidated properties that the cities are trying to get people to fix up and sell them for them or whatever. But it depends on where the properties are at. That's the thing. A lot of people don't want to get the properties because they feel like they're in rundown neighborhoods, so they're not going to make their money. But they will make their money, but they might not make what they want to make, but they're going to make their money. So it just depends on that person and how much you want to put in the property to fix it up. If you want to do it a cheap way or you want to do it a expensive way, it just depends on the person.
Wow.
So there's a lot of investors out there that's doing it. That's doing flip properties and everything.
Yeah, I was just gonna say it sounds like they can flip the property and make their money back, and make maybe probably even more. Okay, so that's with the taxes and everything. The taxes is different, so I want to talk about the taxes. Let's talk about that for.
So tax deeds. Tax deeds are different. So these are properties where homeowners have not paid their property taxes, and there is people think if I don't pay my property tax, they're going to come take my property. But in the state of Florida, there's a time duration for that. Like say you haven't paid, I'm going to use like years. 2020, you haven't paid your property tax. They sell your tax. It's called a tax certificate. They sell them on the 31st of May of each year. So
wow, I never knew that.
Yeah, they sell them as tax certificates. And how that goes is you go to buy a tax certificate. It doesn't go It doesn't go by the person who bid the most. It goes by who bid the less interest on the tax. So if your tax is $2,000, yeah. So whoever can say, "Oh, I only want 1% back. I'm gonna pay this tax, and I only want 1% back." They might win that bid. So whoever have the lowest interest, and the interest, that's who wins the bid. So they have to hold that tax certificate for 2 years before they can do anything. So the homeowner has that chance to go and pay those taxes, but they have to pay that percentage, whatever they won, whatever that person won. So if they won that 1%, they have to pay the taxes plus that 1% to that person. And then their property is in the clear.
Really?
At that point. But if they let it go on, and say that year, 2 years, another year go by, they didn't pay it. Somebody else buy that. So that person have another 2 years. So then another person buy the third year.
It's
so
just a revolving door.
Just a revolving door. But if one of those people who have a tax certificate go and apply for a tax deed application, which means that they have to, if they apply for the tax deed application, they're paying for all those back taxes in order to get that tax deed application. And what that means is once they pay that, they are now in front position where they can have it put on, I call it the chopping block, where they can put it up for auction. They can have the county to put it up for auction. So once it goes on auction, and whoever the highest bidder is, at that point, that person who got the tax deed, whoever applied for the tax deed application, it's no guarantee that they're going to win the bid, but they still going to get their money back from that. So the person who wins the bid, that money is paid to the person who did the tax deed application. Say they paid $10,000 to clear up all those other back taxes to get that tax deed application, and then the property sold for $30,000. They're going to get their $10,000 back. The other $20,000 is a surplus, and it's going to go to the property owner. So the property owner does, benefit from that. So they'll get, the $20,000. But in the interim, the person who won the auction, if there's any living owners on that property, they have to, even if it's deceased owners, they would have to do what is called a quiet title after that to relinquish the interest of the prior owners. So they have to get rid of their interest off the property as well. Just because you win that tax deed doesn't mean that the prior owner does not have any interest in the property. You have to take it and do a quiet title, which is a lawsuit. Take it to court and have the judge to relinquish their rights from the property. And once he does that, then the person who won the tax deed auction is now the sole owner of the property. So it's steps to it. A lot of people think, oh, I just do a tax deed and I win the property. Yeah, but if there's people, if it's a house or a condo, you have to do a quiet title. Now, if it's like vacant property or, just vacant land or whatever, you can wait. You can wait 4 years after you win after you win the tax deed auction, right? If you wait 4 years, then you automatically get rid of the prior owner. But then again, it just depends on what the property is worth and what's going on with the property. But usually, I'll say this like this. Usually after 4 years after you have won a tax deed auction, the prior owner no longer has interest in the property. It is wiped off.
Wow.
Yes.
And this is some good stuff that you're spitting here, because a lot of people don't know what any of this stuff. See that quiet and all of this kind of stuff you just got through talking about. Girl, I ain't know nothing about that. Yeah. That is amazing to me. And how long were you doing that? Because you said you started being nosy. But how long did you, before you, and did you go to school for this? No. I heard you say you just started out on the computer. Yeah. But is there a school for this? I know we talked about it in the last time we talked about it.
There is a school, but they don't teach in depth like this. So they just touch the surface because the school is only for, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's for 48 hours. So you cannot learn all of this in 48 hours. No. I think the school is Clover, just in case anybody want to go. I don't want to quote their prices because I don't know, but I know it's a 48-hour course.
You can't learn that in no 48 hours.
Yeah, and I think now they do online courses as well.
Wow. Yeah. Wow, that's amazing.
It's only one school in the state of Florida, and they're the only school that you can get your title license through them. But I don't have my title license because I don't need it. You don't actually need it, but you can go there if you would like to know more about it. My title.
Right, but it sounds like experience, and
experience
what you said
is
the key, and like you said, the digging and everything like that, because that's really how you find out stuff. You dig, whatever, So that's amazing. So those are the three the cakes, the taxes. And then what's the other one? Notary. Let's talk about that. Okay. Let's get started with that. See, I told you she's a queen. She has at least about 3 or 4 jobs. Okay, let's start with the notary again. Let's do that.
Yeah, so I am a notary, and I'm an online notary as well.
So how did you get started with that? And how long have you been doing that?
Now, this one I can tell you how long I've been doing this. Doing the notary, oh, Jesus. Do I know? Let me see, this 6 years, about 9 years. I've been doing notary. So, but I just started with the online notary like last year.
Now, how did you start with the notary period?
When I was working at the timeshare, we had to become a notary. Everyone in there had to become a notary because we had to notarize each other's documents all the time. Right. So I was a notary there, and I was also made an authorized signer for the company. Okay. So I was one of the ones that could sign like the big contracts and stuff like that. Okay. So I was able to do that. So that's how I became interested in the notary field and stuff like that. So I kind of dug deep in that because a lot of people get their notary stolen. Like they get it hacked. We had one girl on the job. Yeah, we had one girl on the job. They hacked her notary, and they was just notarizing with her notary license, her number, and but the signature didn't match. So they called her, and they had to start. She had to start all over. So when that happened to her, I'm like, wait a minute, how did they get all that stuff like that? How were they able to do it? So I just kind of dug deep in that, and I kind of went deeper into notary to find out exactly what can be notarized, what can't be notarized, and and went from there with it. So it's a lot of documents that you can notarize, and you can also witness as a notary. Then there's documents that you can notarize, and you cannot be the witness on the documents.
Right.
Like such as a trust, you cannot witness. You cannot be a witness and notary at the same time. On a will, you cannot notarize and be a witness. You cannot do that. You can't do it. It's not allowed. But on a deed, you can notarize and be a witness on the deed. You can't do that. You'll be one of the witnesses.
Oh, wow. That's
Mm-hmm.
amazing,
Yes.
guys. Y'all need to get this knowledge, and
Yes.
I'm soaking it in, too. And then I'm going to go back and listen to this, because
Mm-hmm.
this is some serious stuff that we need to spread amongst ourselves.
Yes.
To, I call it generational wealth, passing on generational wealth and keeping it in our families and in our neighborhoods. And I think that's so important that we need to do that, even though we may not have the money or any money, but there's got to be a way that with this we can educate each other,
Right.
where we can, the properties and the tax deeds and all of this and real estate. So you said, but you've been doing that for about 9 or 8 years.
Right.
So how did you get the license online for the notary? I mean, not the license, but doing notary online.
Right. I went to one of my friends. He encouraged me to do it because he's a realtor, so he wanted me to do it for his company. So he encouraged me to do it. So I got into it. So he sent me his people whenever they can't, come in person or what have you. So they just go online, and I just notarize it from there. So it's I'm with Notary Hub.
Notary Hub, okay.
Notary Hub.
Notary Hub, okay.
Yeah, Notary Hub, and you can go there, and the prices are really good. It's not expensive. It's just like you going in front of someone, and you paying the $20 for them to notarize your paper.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, and so we're able to look at the documents. They have to upload the documents. We have to look at it. We put the signature block in there. So on their end, they can see where we put the signature blocks in, and they could just, sign from their end, regardless of what state they're in. Because I deal with people from New York, California, wherever.
What about, do you do third world countries or out of the country? Do you also do that, or just in the United States?
Just in the United States. I only do
Okay.
just in the United States. In another country, they have to have, I think theirs is called magistracies. They're not notaries. In some states, in some countries, I'm sorry, they have magistracies, and then some of them have to go to the. I think I seen one that was like from a priest or something like that. I'm not really for sure, but they have their own, and they have to have the indentation notary. So they have to have the one that actually indentates the paper.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, they have those, and some of them have like ribbons. They have put ribbons on the paper, and they have like their own different ways. Like I know London have ribbons, and they have seals, different seals. That's what I meant to put. That say the seal on the paper is indentated. So yeah, in different countries. Mm-hmm.
That sounds okay. So with the last but not least, in 10 seconds or less, can you tell me the last one, your passion?
Is properties.
Okay, let's do that one right quick. So
let me I said like properties and helping people.
Okay, tell me that.
I love to help
This
people.
is the fourth one, guys.
I love to help people with properties. I love to keep people with their properties for their generational wealth. I love to help them keep it in their family.
Yes.
To teach them how to keep it in their family.
Yes.
So I tell them I don't have any problems answering any questions. I don't have any problems helping them. I'd rather see them keep it and pass it down. And I tell them how to keep it, not only just what to do or help them with it. I say, hey, and since you don't have a mortgage, make sure the taxes are paid. You can call the tax collector's office, have them to break up the payment in four payments if you can't pay it in one lump sum.
Correct.
You can have them do that. I said, just make sure that you stay on top of it. As long as you stay on top of it, they can never take your property. Because if your mortgage is paid, not to say that I'm not trying to tell them not to do it, but you don't have, on a paid off property, you don't have to have insurance on the property. You taking on all that that whatever occurs at the property, you have to pay it out your pocket.
Right.
But it's good to have home insurance. Don't get me wrong. Home insurance is the best. But if you can't afford it, just make sure you pay those taxes on the property.
Right, and that's that. Okay, so we hit the reverse mortgage right there in 5 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
What can you explain to everyone that's watching about a reverse mortgage, and then we're going to wrap it up.
Okay, reverse mortgage. What that is what the people do is they'll tell you that they'll come and pay your house off, whatever you owe, but you have to have at least 75% equity in your house in order for them to do that. And you have to be of certain age in order for them to do it as well. So I think it's 65. If you're 65 or older and you have 75% equity in your house, then they would do it for you. But the downside of that is, well, some people think it's a good side, where they will pay it off and then you won't have any house payment at all, and they will put money in your pocket. But the downside to that is, you do it in 2020, they'll say you don't have to pay it off until 2099. They know that you're not going to live that long. And then it's all these fees and that occur with this loan. So if you start off with $200,000, they're going to project that your loan going to end at $300,000 or $400,000. So it's going to grow each month. It's growing each month until it gets to that amount. And then another thing that a lot of people say is good, whatever they lock you in at, like say they lock you in at $300,000, that's your cap. They say, okay, we're going to give you to 2099 at $300,000. If you pass away before that, your family member can come and refinance and get the house for that $300,000, regardless if the house is worth $1 million. You will only have to pay them that $300,000 back.
And they have a time slot for that.
Yes, it's not 365 days. It's 364 days. And they will find out, even if you don't contact the mortgage company, they find out anyway that the person is deceased. You be like, how did they find out? They do their due diligence. I'm telling you, they do it. I don't know if they just search every month or what have you, but they find out fast that the person has passed away, and they start putting the pressure on them,
on the family.
What you gonna do? What you gonna do?
Or they're gonna come and take it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's something I think that you would want to think about. That they'll pay you as long as you're living in the house.
Exactly.
But there's other things that you have to consider doing that.
Right. Exactly.
Wow. So last question, I promise. Where do you see yourself in the next 2 to 5 years with all of your business? 4 businesses. 4. Unos, dos, tres, cuatros.
Hopefully a millionaire. Hopefully.
That's right. Name it and
millionaire 10 times. Millionaire 10 times.
That's beautiful.
Because I want to help as many people as possible. I want to help them secure their property.
Generational wealth.
Generational wealth. That is so important to me.
Yeah, it is.
It is so important to me. I just, if someone come to me and ask me, I tell them, even when they're not asking me, I just kind of get into the conversation. Hey, look, you can do this, this, and this, and this.
And that's a blessing. I help them.
I tell them anyway. Some of them listen, some of them don't.
Exactly. Well, you can, like my mother used to say, rest his soul. You can lead the horse to the water, but you can't make him drink. Exactly. So give me all the platforms where they can reach you, phone numbers with the cakes, the titles, or is it under one umbrella or what? So give me all the details.
You can reach me. My phone number is area code 561-376-5426. Or you can get me on Instagram at Chinese Eyes 21, or you can reach me on Facebook. I think I just have it as Pat Credit. I'm sorry, Pat Jones. So I know it's a lot of Joneses out there, but you'll see my beautiful face.
Amen.
So you can reach me that way. Those are my platforms. Yes.
Okay. All right. So there you have it. Can you repeat that again so they can hear it?
Okay.
That's important.
My phone number is area code 561-376-5426. My Instagram is Chinese Eyes 21, and my Facebook is Pat Jones.
Okay, there you have it. I always have them to repeat it because, they may not hear it or they want to write it down or whatever. So there you have it. My guest today with 4 jobs. 4. All right, she killing it, y'all. Killing it. And I promised that I was going to have her back. And this is Pat Credit Jones, a queen. We go a long way back.
Your cousin,
I love you,
your
cousin.
My
I love this
cousin.
girl. That's right. We family. My cousin, baby. We grew up together. And a lot of people can't say that. So thank you again, Diaspora TV. Thank you, Mr. Allen. Thank you, Mr. Donald. And we'll see you soon. And guess what? Merry Christmas! Merry Christmas to each and every one of you all. May you have the merriest Christmas of all. A happy, healthy, wealthy, blessed, and safe, prosperous New Year to each and every one of you. God loves you, and so do we. We're going to look in the camera and say, good night.
Good night.
We love you. Mwah. Thank you, Mr. Allen, Diaspora TV, and Donald again. God bless.